My son and daughter-in-law left me in the hospital after my recovery. I am an old woman now. My hands shake when I hold this pen, and my eyes grow tired quickly. But today I want to speak. Not because I am angry. Not because I want revenge. I want to speak because silence has lived inside me for too long. If you are listening to my story, please listen with your heart. I remember the smell of the hospital that day. Medicine. Disinfectant. Cold air. It was the day the doctor said, "You have recovered. You can go home now." Home. That word made my heart smile. I thought my son would smile too. I thought my daughter-in-law would say, "Ma, let's go home." But that didn't happen. Let me start from the beginning, so you understand who I am. I was once a strong woman. I woke up before sunrise every day. I cooked, cleaned, washed clothes by hand, and prayed for my family with the same hands that were always cracked and tired. My husband died when my son was only 12. From that day, I became both mother and father. I stitched clothes at night to pay school fees. I skipped meals so my son could eat properly. I sold my bangles one by one, not because I wanted to, but because love demanded it. When my son grew up, I was proud. When he got married, I was happy. I believed my old age would be peaceful. I believed wrong. Years passed. My body slowly weakened. My knees hurt. My back bent. My memory began to fade. One night, I collapsed while trying to reach the bathroom. When I opened my eyes, I was in a hospital bed. Machines beeped beside me like they were counting my breaths. My son stood there. My daughter-in-law stood beside him. I smiled weakly. "Don't worry," I said. "I'm fine." I didn't want them to feel burdened. The hospital days were long. The nights were longer. Nurses came and went. Other patients had visitors bringing fruit, warm clothes, laughter. I mostly had silence. My son came sometimes. My daughter-in-law came less. When they came, they talked about bills, work, traffic. Never about me. I was grateful. After all, they were busy. After all, I was old. That's what old people learn to say, to make others feel comfortable. After weeks, the doctor smiled at me. "You are stable now," he said. "You can go home." My heart jumped like a child's. I folded my thin blanket neatly. I combed my white hair with trembling fingers. I waited. Hours passed. Evening came. The sun set behind the hospital window. I told myself, they must be stuck in traffic. Night came. I told myself, they will come tomorrow morning. The next day, the nurse looked at me with confusion. "Has no one come to take you home?" she asked. I smiled softly. "They will come," I said, but my voice was not confident anymore. In the afternoon, my son finally arrived. My daughter-in-law stayed outside. "Ma," he said, avoiding my eyes, "the doctor says you are better now." "Yes," I said happily. "Let's go home." He cleared his throat. "Our house, it's not suitable for you anymore." I didn't understand. "What do you mean?" I asked. He looked down at the floor. "You need care, medicines, rest. We are busy." Busy. That word felt heavier than any illness. I reached for his hand. "I will not trouble you," I said quickly. "I can cook slowly. I can stay in one corner. I don't need much." He pulled his hand away gently. like touching something fragile he didn't want to break or keep. "We will arrange something," he said. I remembered carrying him to the same hospital, praying outside the doctor's room. I wondered, when did I stop being his mother and start becoming his responsibility? He said kindly, "Bed." I nodded. "Where should I go?" I asked. He had no answer. That evening, my daughter-in-law came. She stood far from my bed. "Ma," she said, "you can stay here for some more days. It's better for you." Her eyes were not unkind. They were empty. I realized something painful then. They hadn't forgotten me. They had decided. The hospital became my world. I learned the routine. Morning medicine. Afternoon silence. Night loneliness. I began talking to myself so I wouldn't forget my own voice. Sometimes I watched families leave together. Wheelchairs rolling out. Hands holding hands. I looked away before tears fell. One day, a young nurse sat beside me. "Do you have children?" she asked. "Yes," I said. A son. Waiting had become my skill. Weeks later, I overheard a phone conversation between staff. "They will move her to a charity ward," someone said. Charity. That word cut deep. I had given my whole life in charity to my family. Before they moved me, I asked for a phone. I dialed my son's number. It rang and rang and stopped. I didn't try again. Some calls are not meant to be answered. Now I sit by the hospital window every day. I watch the sky change colors. I tell my story to anyone who will listen, not to blame my son, not to shame my daughter-in-law, but to remind the world of something simple. Old age is not a disease. Parents are not burdens, and love should not expire when hair turns white. If you are listening to me, and your parents are still alive, please, call them. Hold their hands while they are still warm. Don't wait until their bed is empty, because one day you might become the story someone else is telling. And I will keep sitting here, waiting, just like I always have.